Hey everybody, May 31st, 2013. It's actually pretty early in the morning right now. Not that you know that, but I'm telling you, I have a very long day of all kinds of musical rehearsals and events and some performances. So, got to get the news done kind of early this morning for me. Anyway, what we did this last week, one clip released, and that clip was step 36 in the advanced voice course. And it is the full diminished seventh chord. That is a very awesome chord to get into because it helps you start to understand how to sing against totally stacked minor thirds. Now I'm going to be talking a lot more about those stacking of the minor thirds in diminished arpeggios because that's what it is. It's a full diminished chord. Anyway, that's explained in the clip, and you're vocalizing to it again, working on these interrelative harmonies. I keep stressing the fact that that's what this course is all about, to bring all your musical listening skills and all your vocal technique skills simultaneously together, which will make you a 100% musician with your voice, and at the same time working on the technique of singing through your bridges and your breaks. That is what's going on. We keep on adding these new sounds, and the full diminished seventh is a big jump up in relationship to the other sounds that we've done. Now, the sounds that have actually happened in the advanced voice course so far have been minor 13th stacking arpeggio and major and minor third combinations, the minor pentatonic scale, the major seventh, dominant seventh, minor 7 flat 5, adding this full diminished chord to it, and we also worked on just singing major and minor arpeggios and then added the minor major seventh arpeggio. Now that's a lot of sounds to get underneath your belt, and the idea of physically singing these sounds and being able to call them up and pull them out of the chords, obviously a great aid in your ability to do anything musically. Anything musical as it's happening within these sounds. This is music. I'm teaching you how to vocalize and simultaneously incorporate all the sounds of music. So anyway, that's what we did in relationship to the release. Now, I keep telling you that I'm going to get this vibrato course done, and you can expect to be seeing a vibrato clip or two this coming week. It's ready to go up, and we won't be doing a whole lot more vibrato clips because pretty soon the whole vibrato course will be done. But there's a few more things to talk about in relationship to vibrato, and one of them was the idea of sort of getting into the technique of speeding up and slowing down as an artistic decision, not something that you do all the time. Because basically once you do develop a vibrato, you kind of have a vibrato that naturally falls comfortably with the way things are undulating through the vocal cords and the way things are vibrating in your voice box. And once that happens, you kind of have your set vibrato as far as speed is concerned. But it doesn't mean that in a special effect, then you're doing something specifically that you can't slow it down a little bit or speed it up a little bit. And that's what the next clip that's coming out for vibrato is going to be all about. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be coming out next week, very early in the week. So be looking for that. Now, a quick little musical tip for you YouTubers. Depending upon where you're studying, who you're studying with, or what you've heard about studying the voice, one question that I get asked about some teachers is that some teachers like to build in the middle of a person's voice and then build from there up into other parts of the range. Now, I don't do that, and I don't look at that as a proper approach, and the reason why is because what you're really looking to do all the time, no matter where you're at in your range, is balance the air that's going through your vocal cords. And if you can balance the air, and what I mean by that is a balanced larynx in the middle of the neck, and no outside muscles being involved. I speak about that all the time to everybody that I'm working with all the time. But it's got to be balanced no matter where you're at in your range. Down in your low notes, up in your high notes. No one part of the voice should really feel different than any other part of the voice. meaning that you want to look for a very balanced connection no matter where you're at in relationship to the adjustments that need to be made in relationship to singing in head voice, middle, and chest voice. And so, no, I don't think that building from the middle is a wise decision. I think what you need to do is, from day one, learn how to access the full range of your voice and then start to build and coordinate each part of your voice, but in a very balanced way, so as you're making a transition from one part of your voice to the other, it's no big deal. So with that in mind, all your tones should be balanced and sung smoothly, and you should be thinking that should be in your mind from day one when you start vocalizing. By doing that, you're going to access a lot more notes, and high notes and low notes and middle notes will not seem the challenge that they seem to be to many singers. Another question that I get quite often is, how loud should I sing, or how loud should I sing when I'm practicing? And a good volume for you to sing when you're practicing is kind of middle volume, not your loudest, not your softest. Mezzo forte is what it's called in our vocal world here. And that medium volume is the easiest place for you to catch all of these coordinations as you're moving through your range. And that's what's important, again, as I'm saying. And the guideline there should always be never sing any louder than you can maintain this balanced approach that I'm speaking to you about, in relationship to keeping, again, the voice box, the larynx balanced in the middle of the neck. No hyoid or digastric muscles pushing down here, none of that happening. No tightness in the jaw, no grimacing, opening the eyes real wide, forehead, all of these outside muscles that get in the way, all of those deactivated with a nice, comfortable volume. So practice at mezzo forte, medium volume, in relationship to your voice, what feels comfortable. So the next question might be, okay, medium volume, but do I ever practice singing loud? And the answer is there are exercises that actually ask you to crescendo and decrescendo, diminuendo, those ideas of singing louder, but it's done in a very controlled way, and again in a very balanced way, so again none of these outside muscles that hurt anything get in the way. And you can't start by doing that. Much of your practice needs to be practiced at mezzo forte, and then as your voice starts to really develop and build, then you can start building power by doing the proper crescendo exercises within your range as you are moving through the bridges again. So that's what I think about that, and that's how I always vocalize all my students, and with that thought in mind. Always looking forward to the day that I can start building a lot of power in their voice, but know that that's not the most important thing to do in the beginning. It's just like learning how to drive a car. When you first learn how to drive a car, you got to get in a parking lot somewhere and drive 10 or 15 miles an hour before you start hitting that gas. You can't start hitting the gas right off, because you'll crash. You'll burn and crash. And the same thing with the voice. You're going to hurt your voice if you try to sing real loud or imitate your favorite singers who have been in a recording studio warming up with all the technique in the world and all kinds of voice lessons and great teachers underneath their belt, and they go in that studio and they work on something and they spend 4 or 5 hours really honing parts and getting things together and going away, coming back and working on it again. Then you finally hear this recording and you're in a cover band, and the first thing you try to do is just sing exactly the way that singer sang the song, without any warm-up, without any understanding of technique. And what happens is, even if your friends are patting you on the back and telling you how great you are, you start walking away with vocal problems by the end of the night of performances, or even at a practice somewhere. So get into good technique, know that you have to warm up your voice, know what volumes to practice at, and do that thought process, and your voice will be nice to you, and you really will get pats on the back and be a much better singer. And most importantly of all, save your voice so you can sing again and again for the rest of your life.